Bats, the mysterious creatures of the night. Due to their solitary ways, various aspects of their nature have been misconstrued by the general public. A subject of confusion for many would be the difference between hibernation and torpor. It isn't uncommon for people to think bats only hibernate, but that would be a generalization. The act of hibernation involves a reduction of body temperature and metabolic processes for an extended period of time. This process is a response associated with day length and hormone changes and is generally only used seasonally. Torpor is similar to hibernation, but instead is short-term, can be used daily, and depends mainly on ambient temperature and food availability. Both processes allow the animal to minimize their metabolic demands, reduce body temperature, decrease oxygen consumption, along with lowering their heart rate and overall blood flow to their organs. It even provides the animal with the ability to wake up regardless of the surrounding temperature.
However, torpor is used mainly by smaller animals because of their large surface area to volume ratio and higher rate of heat loss and energy use. While torpor use by large animals is uncommon because just the act of waking up and rewarming the massive body would be too energetically demanding and it would be a waste. Now, at a glance, torpor and hibernation may appear to be two different words for the same process, yet they are in fact different. Even torpor itself is not a process that is the same throughout species or even genders.
With nature, the process of reproduction cannot always wait for better weather. Not to mention, it is one of the most energy-taxing processes a female must endure. Throwing bad conditions, such as low food availability, can easily throw a wrench in an organism's overall fitness. When it comes to the bat, there are definite species, sex, and even developmental stage differences in how they use torpor to their advantage.
Differing species have adapted their own ways of dealing with the stress of change like bad weather or food shortage. Little brown bats handle these changes by undergoing torpor. These bats further divide their torpor usage by their reproductive stage. Research has found that pregnant, lactating, and post-lactating bats utilize torpor differently, but since they all use it, it must have some evolutionary advantage.
In all circumstances, pregnancy is an energetically taxing process, and during that time, being able to save energy costs at any point is beneficial. When it comes to bats, their size makes it even harder to cut those energy costs. Pregnant and lactating bats experience torpor less often compared to post-lactating, but undergo more of a deeper state of torpor each time. This is because they have their unborn and young to take care of, and these higher energetic demands keep them from using torpor as often, while female bats that are post-lactation do not have to worry about prenatal development or how it will take care of the bat pup when it arrives.
One of the ways female bats use torpor to their gain would be as a means for sperm storage. It has been shown that bats are unique because they can store sperm for up to 225 days, and the more often a female uses torpor, the longer she can delay fertilization. Some studies suggest that one advantage of this tactic may be higher chance of synchronization with the other female bats, which could decrease the likelihood of predation and increase their fitness.
With that being said, the concept of torpor use while pregnant was once thought to be reproductively harmful, but after further examination, scientists are now considering otherwise. The reason it was thought to be disadvantageous was because it delayed embryonic development in the pregnant bat. However, this exact reason is now thought to be the advantage. Several studies showed that the cost of defending against the cold was greater than the benefits of maintaining fetal growth and lactation efficiency. This tactic of delaying fetal development allows the pregnant bat to extend her pregnancy into conditions that would be favorable for their survival. This means that she has the choice and can wait to give birth until warmer temperatures and food becomes more abundant.
Even though there is a positive side to torpor with reproduction, it is a process that must be properly balanced, especially when the bat is pregnant. It has been shown that if the pregnant female uses torpor too often, it can directly affect the young. For example, in some, the brown adipose tissue is no longer developed. This results in difficulties with thermoregulation for the growing bat pup. Overall, this shows that the counterbalance of torpor versus normothermia is also seen when female bats reach lactation.
The reason why lactating bats tend to use torpor less often is because there is a slight disadvantage from the overuse during this stage. Milk production is reduced, which results in a longer postnatal period as well. This can result in smaller young and can negatively affect survival of the pups, like the lack of thermoregulation. Lactating bats have to remain careful and watch over their offspring, meaning their overall well-being, along with torpor use, takes a back seat. Yet even with these possible disadvantages, torpor provides female bats with a way to balance the cost of reproduction and maintain a positive energy balance.
Therefore, in order to keep this balance under better control, reproductive females use roosting sites to influence the need for torpor use. Those found clustering with other females decreases the need for torpor due to using the avenues of heat transfer to their personal gain and creating a warmer environment for all. Studies comparing species that use maternity colonies rather than solitary roosting provide evidence to support this. The female hoary bat roosts alone in open foliage even during pregnancy. This means they cannot utilize cluster warmth and end up forcing themselves into using torpor more often to make sure both the mother and bat pup make it to the end of parturition. With this species, the females display the same amount of torpor use as males because they too roost alone. The only difference is that males have a lower minimum body temperature than those reproductive females. This shows that there is a definite gender difference and that for females, their primary reason is reproductive advancement, not individual survival.
Overall, more research is necessary to determine the exact benefits and costs that torpor provides. Research concerning torpor and its uses with pregnancy is a relatively new concept and can provide insight into its usage and purpose. Once again, this is a trade-off, but since these bats, among other creatures, have adapted the use of torpor, even when pregnant, suggests the costs are outweighed by the benefits. Not to mention, these reproductive tactics, among other possible reasons, suggest why these species choose torpor instead of hibernation.